Well, 69 and 70 were going to be the era of the wind. You had the Daytona, you had the Superbird, you had the Talladega. Everybody was trying to beat the wind. And why were they trying to beat it? NASCAR. Well, in 69, the Daytona, it did extremely well. But the Talladega, it kept right up with it. 1970, they had the Superbird. Well, this was their answer to the Superbird, or at least the King Cobra was going to be. What did we get on the street? We got a car that actually looked like it was designed by the wind, but it wasn't. And we got a great performing car that had all sorts of get up and go, had all sorts of looks, and the car actually ended up being a street winner. What the car lacked in aerodynamics, it sure made up for in performance. 68, 69 came with the 428 Cobra jet. These cars were rated at 335 horsepower, even though they were a fair bit stronger than that. Well, for 1970, the 385 series motor came out, the 429 motor. Now, was it actually that much quicker than the Cobra jet? That's debatable, but the base motor came out with 360 horsepower. Then you could add the Cobra jet option, which gave you 370 horsepower, and then you could add the Super Cobra jet option, which gave you 4-bolt mains, 11.3 compression, gave you a great set of heads. Automatically, if you ordered the Super Jet, you got a 391 or 430 rear end in the car. You could have either the C6 or you could get a top loader. Either one, great combination. Now, how fast were these cars? Well, they weren't blindingly fast. They were a low 14-second car, but they made all sorts of torque. As far as streetability, these things are very reliable. They're a nice, smooth running car. They're a little bit heavy. They're probably in around the 3,500 pounds, maybe 3,600 pounds. And a lot of that weight is up front. But they got big front disc brakes. They got drums out back. They got some pretty decent sway bars, which help the overall package. With the shaker, it was a good-looking package that performed real well. These cars were supposed to be a relatively cheap, lots of grunt muscle car, and that's exactly what they were. Obviously a great running car. Well, what makes this car a dream car isn't that it's a super rare car, isn't the fact that it's got blinding performance, it's the quality of this car. Somebody spent a lot of time on a car that isn't super valuable. It was a labor of love. This car, the body is perfect on the car. The car's been wet sanded and polished. Every piece of trim has been done on this car. Around the windshield, the chrome, the hood pins, every piece done to perfection. The interior, although he's added a few things, he's added a set of gauges, he's added a stereo system and an aftermarket wheel, it's a beautifully restored interior. And underneath the car, it's not often somebody spends this kind of time on a car that really isn't super, super valuable. So what's this car worth in the end? It's got to be worth somewhere around $50,000, and that's probably half the cost of the restoration if somebody was paying for every hour that went into this car. Is it my dream car? No. Obviously it is somebody's, and at $50,000, it's worth every penny.